You saw the marriage. You saw why his perfect marriage can be a trap. Now, let me tell you what's actually happening inside him when he starts awakening. Because awakening doesn't always begin with an external change. Sometimes it begins with an internal one. From the outside, you may see a man who is still married. He may still live with his wife. He may still post pictures. He may still attend family events. He may even appear completely normal. And you may think, if he is still living that life, how could he possibly be awakening? But awakening begins with an internal change. And when that happens, the first thing that changes isn't his marriage, it's how he feels inside it. At first, there can be a deep sense of confusion. He may start asking himself questions he never used to ask. Why don't I feel the same anymore? Why am I suddenly questioning things I was completely comfortable with before? Why does something feel missing when technically everything is fine? And this is where things can become very uncomfortable for him, because his life may look perfectly normal from the outside, but internally something has shifted. He may begin to feel emotionally disconnected from his life, the life he once accepted without questioning. He may still care. He may still feel responsible. He may still have affection, and at the same time, he can feel that something inside him is no longer where it used to be. And that creates inner conflict. And inner conflict can be incredibly painful, because now he is caught between what he has built and what he is beginning to feel. There also can be guilt. He may feel guilty for thinking about someone else, guilty for questioning his marriage, guilty for feeling unhappy when, according to everyone around him, he should be grateful. And sometimes the guilt becomes even stronger because he doesn't understand why this is happening. Awakening is about realizing that the life you built doesn't reflect who you are anymore, and suddenly you may want to destroy everything. And that's where emptiness can appear. He may start noticing a strange feeling of emotional emptiness. Not necessarily because something terrible is happening in his marriage, but because something inside him is asking for deeper authenticity. He may start realizing that he has been living according to expectations, what he was supposed to do, who he was supposed to be, what a successful life was supposed to look like, and suddenly those things don't feel as fulfilling as once did. This is often where the twin flame connection becomes impossible to completely ignore, because the connection may have awakened something in him that he had kept dormant for years. A part of himself, a desire, a longing, a feeling of being deeply seen, a feeling that he cannot easily explain with logic. And that can create longing. He may miss the divine feminine even when he doesn't understand why. He may think about her at unexpected moments. He may remember conversations, a look, a feeling, a moment. And the strange thing is that he may not even want to think about it. But the more he tries to suppress those feelings, the more aware he becomes of them. And this can lead to another powerful emotion, which is fear. Because if he admits to himself that the connection is real for him, then he has to face what he means. He has to question his choices, his identity, his marriage, his future, the life he has created. And sometimes it's much easier to say, This is nothing, it will pass, I am imagining things, I should just forget about it. And that's denial. And denial is the mind trying to protect itself from something it isn't ready to face. So he can go through periods where he feels deeply connected internally and then tries to convince himself that he isn't. He can feel longing and then guilt. He can feel love and then fear. He can feel that something is changing and then desperately try to return to the way things were. And this is why awakening can feel so chaotic from the inside, because he isn't necessarily fighting the divine feminine. He may be fighting what the connection is awakening inside himself. And perhaps one of the most painful emotions is restlessness. That feeling that something is missing, that something needs to change, but not knowing exactly what to do about it. He may look at his life and think, why am I not happy? Why can't I just go back to the way I was? Why does everything feel different now? And the answer may be that once you become aware of something within yourself, you can't always become unaware again. You can postpone it, you can suppress it, you can distract yourself, but you can't always erase it. And this is why the awakening of a divine masculine inside the karmic marriage can be such a profound internal process. It's about slowly realizing I don't recognize myself in the life I'm living anymore. Because now the question isn't only who do I love? The deeper question becomes who am I? And once that question begins to emerge, everything can start being seen differently. The marriage, the choices, the past, the future, and especially the connection with the divine feminine. So, if you are the divine feminine watching this and you are wondering what may be happening inside your divine masculine, remember this. You may not see his awakening happening externally. You may not see the questions he's asking himself. You may not see the guilt, the confusion, the longing, the fear, or the inner conflict, because awakening often begins in silence. It happens internally before it becomes visible externally. And sometimes the person who looks the most unchanged on the outside is experiencing the biggest transformation on the inside. But there's something even deeper that happens, because eventually there can come a point where he can no longer keep denying what he feels. And that is when everything changes. So, the question isn't only, is he awakening? The real question is, what happens when he can no longer run away from what he has awakened to?